Thank you for listening to the Path of Presence podcast with Evelyn Foreman. Join us each week for mindful, engaging, enlightening dialogue to shift your awareness and build your business online. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this podcast by clicking on the subscribe button. Join our Facebook page for updates, freebies, tips, and trainings at facebook.com/pathofpresence. Free business and social media marketing resources available on our website at pathofpresence.com. You are listening to the Path of Presence podcast with Evelyn Foreman. Have a beautiful day and aloha. Well, hello and welcome. This is Evelyn Foreman with Path of Presence, and I am delighted that you are here listening to this episode. Today's episode is about best practices for posting on your Facebook fan page. There are many times when we are planning a new endeavor and we feel as though we've got to get ready to be ready so that we can be ready to do something. And engaging into social media and Facebook posting on fan page especially might bring up some of those feelings for you. So I've put together these 11 easy, actionable items that you could put into practice immediately and see your results increase, and so that you can have massive success. So then what is the happy medium between posting dozens of times a day versus doing maybe once a week because you're easing into it and fearful for whatever reason? I don't want to post too much on your Facebook page. Well, whether you do it several times a day, whether you post several times a day or you post several times a week or maybe once a month or whatever it is, whatever your decision is to post, make it consistent. The general rule of thumb is to post either 1, 2, or 3 updates a day at minimum. At the very least, you should post at least a couple times a week to remain on your customer's radar. The more you engage your customer with your page post, the more you're likely to continue to appear in their news feeds. But take heart. This is really important. The most recent statistics show that only 2% of the people who like your page actually see your post. Having this information should motivate you to post more often and, more importantly, to increase your page likes. Before we dive into that, it is important for you to know that if someone ignores your post for a prolonged period of time, your post will disappear from their newsfeed altogether. Research shows the reality of what we mean when we say out of sight, out of mind. If someone does not voluntarily visit your fan page to catch up with your post, they will most likely never see your post on their newsfeed again. It's also important to know that not everyone will be checking Facebook all day long or on consecutive days on that platform for that matter. It's wise to share a link or an article and post it several times a day throughout the day at different times so that those who are on the platform at various times can see it. When you are doing this, be sure not to be too spammy about it and use only your most engaging posts that provide a really high value to your audience. Another tip is to focus on brand advocates. When posting on your fan page, focus on those people who advocate your page. The people who like and engage with your content will tend to share it with their friends. Keep track of the types of updates these people like and target more of it directly to them. When they share their content, it will appear in their friends-only feed, therefore increasing your reach. The next tip is all about limiting jargon. When you're posting, make sure to stay with standard English and limit jargon. Assume that those who are reading your post is not familiar with what you're saying. So if you're using an acronym, be sure to put that in parentheses and what the acronym stands for. Keep the language simple and conversational to invite the maximum number of people to come into your tribe, to read it, to be interested in what you have to say. Tip number 4, thank yous are still very important. If time permits, send a thank you to each and every person who's liked your Facebook page. An alternative is to post a thank you note about once a week on your Facebook page to make sure that your new fans feel welcome. Doing this adds care to your communication and reflects well on your image as well as brand that is personable and cares about its audience. You may choose to go a step further and ask each of the people to introduce themselves within the group if they so choose. Tip number 5, brand voice and personality counts. Now, in all your postings, be sure to maintain a consistent brand voice and a personality to strengthen your brand. When you're addressing fans, use the term we to make them feel more part of a community. This way, everyone feels included. If you want to celebrate a landmark, for instance, and you've achieved perhaps 1,000 fans, you might want to say something to the effect of, quote, "We did it. We made it to 1,000 followers. Thank you for all your support," end quote. This communication expresses gratitude and invites your fans to feel included. It really is a we rather than an I. Now, on your Facebook fan page, don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask questions to encourage engagement and start discussions. You can ask a question about virtually anything, from opinions about products or programs out there to your very own, or just about life in general to encourage engagement. For instance, do you prefer product A or B? Opinion questions are always good to ask. For example, what is your favorite type of meditation practice? Another engagement tip is to utilize fill in the blanks. Fill in the blank updates are awesome. They're awesome because it only takes a word or two to participate and engage in filling in the blank. Some sample questions for fill in the blank are the following. 1, do you prefer a mountain or an ocean vacation? 2, do you prefer active yoga or restorative yoga? 3, do you prefer biking or jogging? Some of those questions will probably jog more questions to engage with your particular audience. Tip number 8, be timely. Keeping timely engagement is so very important. If someone comments on your status update or makes a post on your timeline, be sure to reply as soon as possible. Your timely response encourages further conversation and inquiry rather than leaving the comment and letting it go stale. If you do not reply at all, do expect no further inquiries to come in from this person or your community, which is what you do not want. If the comment is right, reply to that comment and also like the comment. This shows your interest and that you are also engaged with their comment. And believe me, your audience will appreciate that. Tip number 9, private message. If you're comfortable with it, turn on the private message function through Facebook. This real-time option allows others to get in contact with you, your company, directly. If you have resources to cope with this, leave this option on so that customers and your fans and those followers can get in touch with you, especially if they don't want to share their message in a public forum. There are some automated bots created of late to automate this process, but I personally have not found a need for them. Now, some people absolutely love bots and they rave about them because of the automated feature. But my philosophy and my experience is that when someone private messages me, it's probably something they don't want to talk about in an open forum. And so it's quite intimate when they email me and ask me a specific question, and I want to be sure that I am answering their question rather than sending them through a robot, a bot loop, for them to even get more frustrated. So I personally do not use that function, but you should know that that is totally available if that is something you choose to do. Tip number 10, this is one of my biggest pet peeves, is to always add a visual. It is a proven fact that photos and videos get a higher engagement rate. So if it's possible for you to include an image with every update, do it. Do it even if the picture only relates to what you're writing in your status. For example, if you have a question to ask your fans, post a text of that question, including a photo of the same question that is asked. Then repeat it in the text box of the status update, because then someone who sees that post can see a visual along with the text itself. It'll draw them in and it'll engage them more. So the last tip for today is a KISS tip, K-I-S-S, to keep it simple. Keep it simple, concise, and to the point. As more and more people are now on their mobile devices, your content is going more mobile. Studies have shown that Facebook users skim content in their newsfeed. So keeping your post at 80 characters or less is a great target. It's been shown that shorter posts receive 27% higher engagement as their longer post counterparts. So keeping it simple is a really great practice to have. And so that's it for today. Those are the 11 very easy, actionable items that can be taken today, right here, right now, for your Facebook fan page to increase massive success. So before you go today, make sure you download the checklist for these 11 best practice tips and have them with you as you work on them. This is Evelyn Foreman, and I look forward to having you with me on our next podcast. Thanks for being here today. Aloha. Thank you for listening to the Path of Presence podcast with Evelyn Foreman. Join us each week for mindful, engaging, enlightening dialogue to shift your awareness and build your business online. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this podcast by clicking on the subscribe button right here on iTunes. Join our Facebook page for updates, freebies, tips, and trainings at facebook.com/Path of Presence. Free business and social media marketing resources available on our website at pathofpresence.com. You are listening to the Path of Presence podcast with Evelyn Foreman. Have a beautiful day and aloha.